The first inductee is a man I've heard his name all my life, Elton Cruz. He passed away in 2014, so this is a post-mortem induction. But my dad, Hugh Nunley, who was an attorney here for years, just thought the world of Cruz, as did everyone else. And what I do in these inductions, I first give you just highlights of what's in their bio that you have in your program, and then I give you additional information that I've gotten through research and calling people, etc. So let's talk about some of the accomplishments of Elton Cruz. Elton is an old Florida family person. His ancestors migrated to Florida in the mid-1800s. So he's about as old a Florida cracker as you could possibly get from a family. He was always considered, by everybody who knew him, to be a rather quiet, humble man, but in his actions, but in his personality, but in his actions, he became totally self-made, one of the most successful businessmen that I think this community's ever produced. Maybe the most successful business person this community's produced. In recognition of his lifelong contributions to the Florida citrus industry, that was his primary profession. He also was an actor. In 2004, he was inducted into the Florida Citrus Hall of Fame. The title that was given was, he was one of the modern citrus pioneers. He preferred to work behind the scenes. Everybody I talked to said he did not like public recognition. He did not like to put his name out there while he was doing a lot for the community. He was a significant benefactor of various churches, too many to name, educational institutions, including South Florida Community College, now South Florida State College, civic clubs, charitable organizations, sports, youth sports, particularly at Avon Park High School and Avon Park Schools. His family was the largest private donor to this construction of the Terry Herring Aquatic Center at the Avon Park High School. He and his wife Norma donated a 17,000 square foot building to the South Florida State College, which is named the Cruz Center. It's on Highway 27. Most of you are aware of it. Now that's what's in the program. Now for the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey used to say. Things I've learned beyond what was in the bio. Elton was literally born in a log house. It would even be considered a log cabin, I guess, kind of like Abraham Lincoln. He was born in Berea, a little tiny community, it's almost non-existent anymore, about 6.5 miles northwest of Avon Park, the Crossroads, close to the Polk County, Highland County line. Very tiny community. He was born there in 1914. Yet he became one of the most highly respected and admired businessmen to ever come out of Avon Park. He had a deep respect for education, which is one of the big reasons he gave so freely to the schools in Avon Park and in the community college, now the state college. One of the reasons he liked education so much, he was so committed to it. His father and his 3 aunts were actually school teachers back in old one-room schoolhouses. So he was raised by educators. He went to a tiny single-room school for the first 8 years, 8 grades, 1st through 8th, near Berea. How many know what Berea is? You have to be an old timer. That's, small. He went to the Athens School. I think it was a one-room schoolhouse for 8 grades. It's no longer standing. He was the first from this tiny Athens school, getting through the 8th grade, to go on to high school. Nobody had gone on to high school from that school until Elton, and he went way away. He matriculated to Frostproof High School, where he finished high school there in 1933. And he was an excellent math student, and he was really interested in banking, which really surprised me because you got a kid who's 18 from in the early 1930s, Central Florida. Hardly anybody lived here. It was the heart of the Depression, and he was interested in banking and accounting. I later became a CPA after I got out of high school, but when I was in high school, I didn't know what a CPA was. I didn't know what banking was. I didn't know a debit from a credit. Yet, Elton Cruz, with limited background, knew that's what he wanted to do, was good at math. He wanted to go to the University of Florida and study to be a CPA, but it was in the heart of the Depression. His family couldn't afford that. So he scrounged around, got some money, made some money working, of course, and took a correspondence course in bookkeeping. And then after about a year of that, he decided he wanted to be a CPA so badly. He's a tiny rural town of Berea, Florida. He announced his parents he was going to go to college, the Tampa Business College. His dad said, "Oh, we can't afford it, you can't go." He said, "I'm going. I'm going to work my way through," and he did. He took a train from Fort Meade to Tampa. He rented a room at a house near the college. The room, this is 1933 or 34. The room cost $1.50 a week. He had to stretch to pay for that. He went to work for a local accountant as an 18, 19-year-old kid going to school. And everything was going great. He was a great student. And about a year and a half into his college studies, tragedy struck. His father back in Berea was tragically killed. He was working some cows on the horse. The horse stumbled and he fell in his head. And they called Elton home. After a year and a half of school, he had 5 younger siblings still at home, so he immediately came home, had to drop out of college. That eliminated his ability to finish college, eliminated his ability to become CPA, because he had to take care of the younger siblings in the family. But that didn't keep a smart, hard-working, ambitious young man like Elton down. He had almost no financial resources, and with his brother, when he got to his mid to late 20s, he bought a tiny, I think a 20-acre Orange Grove near Avon Park. And starting with that, over the next 60 years, he became one of the most successful and highly recognized and highly respected citrus owners, business people in Florida. And cattle as well. They got into cattle as well. He was particularly good at finding existing groves. Now we're talking about starting back in the 30s, with the Depression, groves that had not been managed very well. And he was very good at managing. School of Hard Knocks. He worked in his own groves. He didn't just buy them. He worked in them. And he could find a grove that was run down but wasn't managed well. He'd buy it at a good price, and then through his management skills and work ethic, he would build it up, and that's how one place he became successful. There's a quote that was given to him that he loved to say, "There's nothing better for a grove than its owner's tracks." He didn't like distant owners. He didn't like owners of citrus enterprises where the owners didn't get involved, get their hands dirty. He very much did that. My dad, Hugh Dunley, I already mentioned, some of you know him, was a huge admirer of Elton Cruz. And my dad said that he was more universally respected. Elton Cruz was more universally respected and admired than any other man he knew in town. And our own David Lanier, most of you know Dave. Dave's still with us. David's either 92 or 93, still trying to wrap up his practice down on Main Street. I talked to David Lanier about it because he was living, and he gave me a couple of quotes. David said about Elton. Elton Cruz had an impeccable reputation, both personally and from a business standpoint. David said you could always rely on what Elton said you would do. David said his word was absolutely his bond. And then David, who is an attorney, said the following: once he told you what he would do, a written contract was utterly unnecessary. You don't hear many business people with that kind of reputation when attorneys, they don't need a written contract when he gives you a handshake. So it is indeed our pleasure to induct Elton Cruz and his grandson Cruiser. We'll have a few words to say, and we'll receive the induction. Cruiser, are you here?
He was my father. He was the definition of a gentleman. He was a gentleman, very patient, very stoic in his emotions. Sometimes he didn't know how to read them. But in his own way, he would let you know what he was thinking and feeling. And he knew work. That's all he knew. He very rarely would hunt or fish. He worked 6-7 days a week, whatever it took. And he believed in himself. He believed in this industry, primarily citrus. Although cattle was his first love, I call it, all along, which is mine as well. With that, he believed in himself, he believed in his industries, he believed in his employees, and that's what drove him and created the successes that he had. And with that, he got his philanthropic ways and would help anyone that was trying to help himself or his family. And the way he would want to be remembered is for all the things you never heard about. He very much appreciated this honor and any other he was bestowed, but the things you never heard about, things that whether helping someone get a house, help someone bury a loved one, further their education, a job, a business opportunity, all the countless civic, church-related, education-related donations he made over the years. That's how he want to be remembered. And thank you, Champions Club, for bestowing this honor upon him. And I appreciate it. He would, his whole family, and all his friends, colleagues. I appreciate this. Thank you very much.